Keep watching The Politics every Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern Time on New York Parrot TV, the voice for humanity.
Been asked to be the chair of their campaign. This is an important campaign for New York's future. You know that, and I know that. This is an opportunity to chart a new course for us and to stand up for people like us, for people who need a champion in government, for people who need a hand up, for people who want to make their own contribution to New York. People like you, people like us. That's why I'm proud to be here with Tom and Diana. I've known Tom since he was mayor of Glen Cove. His hometown, and it wasn't easy to be mayor of Glen Cove. It had a lot of challenges. Financial challenges, infrastructure challenges, but he met them all. I met him when I was borough president of the Bronx. You may have heard we had some challenges too. But we met them all. So I know a can-do, hands-on, common-sense guy when I see one. And that's whether it's mayor of Glen Cove, county executive of Nassau, a member of Congress, Tom never shied away from a fight. Always a stand-up guy. And anybody from New York understands what that means. A stand-up guy. Someone who stands up for his friends, for his neighbors, for what is right. Tom also has an impressive record of achievement as an executive, but an even more impressive record fighting for people just like us. That's why I'm proud to be here tonight. Look, I could have done a bunch of things with the rest of my life. I've served in government. I'm very happy and pleased with that service. Been able to count the number of people among my friends, many of you.
We love you, Freddie!
But I have rarely seen an opportunity like this. To bring somebody to the executive branch in Albany who understands who we are, where we came from, and what to do once he gets there. That's Tom Suozzi. When he picked Suozzi-Reyna to be his running mate, he told us everything we needed to know about what he thinks and who he is. Everything we needed to know. So, a lot of people make a lot of speeches, put out press releases, show up at events with checks. Tom has always done the right thing.
Yes.
Tom always believes in the right things, whether it was fighting for immigrants when it wasn't so popular on Long Island. He stood up and did the right thing.
Thank you, Tom!
And like so many other things that Tom has done in his career, he has made us all proud that we're his friends. And I'm proud to be here tonight, not only to be the chairman of his campaign, but to ask you to join me in welcoming his running mate, someone who will make us all proud that we're New Yorkers and ignite us in action for a new New York. For a New York that's governed by common sense, principles that look at the little guy, principles that look at people who work hard and want to just do better for themselves, their families, and especially their kids. That's who we are, that's who we've always been, and that's who our next Lieutenant Governor of New York will be, Diana Wright.
Buenas noches, mi gente. Good evening. I know we are excited, so I need you to make some noise. I know you've been in this room, you feel good, you've had something to drink, so let's hear it for Tom Suozzi. Me llamo Suozzi-Reyna y soy la candidata a la vicegobernadora del estado de Nueva York.
Yes! Yes, sis!
And I'm running for Lieutenant Governor of the state of New York. I'm proud to partner with our next governor, Congressman Tom Suozzi. I met Tom Suozzi almost 20 years ago at a dinner meeting in the city. I remember learning that Tom had been an advocate for immigrants since he first became mayor of Glen Cove, almost 30 years ago, way before anyone was talking about it. He opened the first Shape Up Center anywhere on the East Coast for newcomers from Central America.
Amen!
Round of applause.
Let's go!
Protecting wages and workers' rights when it mattered most. He was tough, but he was compassionate, straightforward, no nonsense. What you see is what you get. I admired him right away. Now, he is talking about crime and taxes. He's supporting the police, officers like my husband. I want to restore our trust in law enforcement. Tom wants to lower our property taxes and do something about soaring utility costs. I like that. Do you? I like what he's saying about helping our troubled schools. Do you like that? When I heard he was running for governor, I wanted in. Do you? I wanted to be part of this campaign. Shake things up and get something done in Albany. Are you ready for that? That really matters to me, to the people of New York, to all of you. You really matter to me. We began talking and he asked me to run with him. This was my chance to make a real difference in the lives of my fellow New Yorkers. Tom and I are lifelong, common sense Democrats. My whole career has been about accountability. Inspect what we expect. I always say and practice that. It's no longer just about ideology. It's all about getting things done. Common sense teaches us to learn, apply, and relearn based on our experiences. Like Tom, I am a first-generation American. My parents are from the Dominican Republic, and I was born and raised in Brooklyn. My mom, who's with you tonight in the audience with my family, the trailblazer of our family, came here in 1965 as a single woman, no English, with a limited education. She worked as a talented seamstress, witnessed her trade vanish, and was compelled to reinvent herself into a home attendant. My dad, may he rest in peace, was employed at a textile factory in Dumbo, along Brooklyn's waterfront. With a dream to open his own business, he saved just enough money to open his own pizzeria arcade storefront. People still remember him getting in trouble as kids for coming home late, for playing arcades when they were supposed to be home, as opposed to eating pizza and having a good time. He later turned into a livery driver in the neighborhood for over 30 years. My husband is a lieutenant in the New York City Police Department, where he has served 25 years with pride and distinction. We've been married for 20 years this year, in November. Together, we are raising two teenage boys attending public high schools in Manhattan. I won't point to them because I promised I wouldn't embarrass them. We are here today because our state is going in the wrong direction. New York doesn't need to move to the left, and it doesn't need to move to the right. New York needs to move forward. Our communities are seeing crimes soar. Law and order needs to be restored. We have underperforming schools, and our utility rates are rising while our earnings remain the same. Many are feeling employment insecurity. I grew up in the 70s and 80s in Los Sures, Williamsburg, not the Williamsburg you know today. A neighborhood ridden with crime, drugs, and gangs. Manufacturing and residential buildings abandoned or burnt to the ground. Reduced city services and underperforming schools forced our community to organize and fight back. I spent 22 years in government, getting things done. As a councilwoman for 12 years, I held hundreds of town hall meetings to hear directly from constituents. Tell me your stories, I would say. Tell me where to look for what you really need. I served as Deputy Brooklyn Borough President for Eric Adams, today your mayor. Representing 2.6 million people in Brooklyn, problem solving together as they raise issues of concerns. Like Tom, I have been hearing a lot lately about dangerous crime in our neighborhoods. Our communities, children, and small business owners are being attacked and intimidated, forced to live in fear. Nuestros niños should never feel scared to go to school. Bail reform needs to be fixed. And when Tom says we need to give judges more discretion to keep violent criminals off the streets, I agree with him. Let's not stay and wait any longer. We must restore trust in our law enforcement. We must apply common sense in government. And I want to work with Tom Suozzi to build a better New York for all New Yorkers. I want to represent the heart and soul of New York. I'm a first-generation Dominican American, the first to graduate in my family to go to high school, to graduate college. And in November, I will be your first Latina ever to be elected to New York State White Caucus. This can only happen in one place, America. Tom and I want to help New Yorkers to keep that hope and of the American dream alive. Nueva York mejores juntos. New York better together. Thank you.
You just got a preview of our next lieutenant governor. What do you think? Let him know what you think. Now let me direct your attention to the big screen right there for a quick video.
Everything I've done in my career has prepared me for this particular job at this particular time.
Over 25 years ago, Tom Suozzi became one of the first public officials to offer help to undocumented workers.
Men who were looking for work to gather at one location. And if you didn't get paid, someone would advocate for you. And if you didn't get hired, you could stay and learn English or a job skill.
As Nassau County executive, he oversaw the lowest crime rate in the history of Long Island.
We did gun buyback program to get the guns off the street.
Tom felt that the police should not just control the community, but be part of the community.
Now, crime in New York is rising, and Tom will help put more cops on the beat and give judges the power to take violent offenders off the streets. In Congress, Tom led the fight to repeal the cap on state and local tax deductions, devastating New York's middle class.
My family has to pay thousands more in federal taxes.
We've seen Tom be out in front of this and not back down.
No matter what the meeting was, I always brought the issue of salt, and it worked.
Now, Tom will fight to roll back New York's sky-high property and income taxes. Tom Suozzi's always believed public office is all about getting things done for people. From pulling Nassau County from the brink of bankruptcy to cleaning up some of New York's worst polluted sites.
In a lot of ways, Tom Suozzi is kind of a throwback.
I like to call myself a common sense Democrat. Politicians are too focused on being politically correct. I'm focused on doing the correct thing for the people of New York. The far right and the far left has gone too far, and they're stopping us from getting things done.
He's driven by what the issue is.
He's really interested in other people.
Listen to their problems and then fix them.
Tom will tell you it all comes from his family. A father born in Italy who faced discrimination like many immigrants, and his mother, Marguerite.
My mom was a very remarkable woman, really devoted to helping other people. Complete strangers. We'd be driving home from school, and she'd see a woman walking with her grocery bags, and she'd pull over and pick them up, give the woman a lift.
Maybe that's what Tom has been doing the past 30 years. Maybe that's the whole point of public service, lifting of people.
Everything I've done in my career has prepared me for this particular job at this particular time.
Over 25 years ago, Tom Suozzi became one of the first public officials to offer help to undocumented workers.
Men who were looking for work could gather at one location. And if you didn't get paid, someone would advocate for you. And if you didn't get hired, you could stay and learn English or a job skill.
As Nassau County executive, he oversaw the lowest crime rate in the history of Long Island.
We did gun buyback programs to get the guns off the street.
Tom felt that the police should not just control the community, but be part of the community.
Now, crime in New York is rising, and Tom will help put more cops on the beat and give judges the power to take violent offenders off the streets. In Congress, Tom led the fight to repeal the cap on state and local tax deductions, devastating New York's middle class.
My family has paid thousands more in federal taxes. We've seen
I always brought up the issue of salt, and it worked.
Now, Tom will fight to roll back New York's sky-high property and income taxes. Tom Suozzi's always believed public office is all about getting things done for people. From pulling Nassau County from the brink of bankruptcy to cleaning up some of New York's worst polluted sites.
In a lot of ways, Tom Suozzi is kind of a throwback.
I like to call myself a common sense Democrat. Politicians are too focused on being politically correct. I'm focused on doing the correct thing for the people of New York. The far right and the far left has gone too far, and they're stopping us from getting things done.
He's driven by what the issue is.
He's really interested in other people.
Listen to their problems and then fix them.
Tom will tell you it all comes from his family. Father, born in Italy, who faced discrimination like many immigrants, and his mother, Marguerite.
My mom was a very remarkable woman, really devoted to helping other people. Complete strangers even. We'd be driving home from school, and she'd see a woman walking with her grocery bags, and she'd pull over and pick them up. Give the woman a lift.
maybe.
I'm going to give a speech, and the reporters are here, the reporters are in the back, and they're going to write down what I said. But the real story tonight is all of you. This is an amazing crowd of people. Look at the faces in this room. Look at the diversity in this room. I can guarantee you, I've got friends in here my whole life, my family's here. I've got people that have supported me since I was mayor of Glen Cove, County Executive of Congress. Nobody expected to see a room like this. This is a beautiful group of people. Thank you so much for all being here like this. You're amazing, powerful people. And I want to say, let's hear it for Suozzi-Reyna. Let's hear it for Suozzi-Reyna. She's smart, she's tough, she's hardworking, and she's got a heart for the people. When Helene and I had dinner with Diana and her husband, it was obvious we would be a great team. We share the same values. We're both first-generation Americans. Everybody knows my father was born in Italy. Her parents were born in the Dominican Republic. And when she's elected, she'll be the first Latina elected statewide in the history of New York State. And Fernando, thank you so much, brother. I am so grateful to you. I met him when I was a young mayor. He was a younger Bronx Borough president at the time. He's the man that transformed the Bronx from the Bronx is burning to the Bronx Renaissance. Let's hear it for Fernando Ferrer. And Reverend Hall, does Reverend Hall have a voice to radio? What a beautiful prayer. Reverend, I love you. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful to you. And, you know, one of the things that the Reverend prayed for in his remarks, in his prayer, was the Ukrainians. Talk about power to the people. Look at the Ukrainians that are holding back the hordes of Putin's armies, that are stopping them from advancing. Putin is a liar. He's a manipulator. He's a murderer. And we have to do everything we can to support the Ukrainian people. Sanctions, yes. Cutting off the banking, yes. We as New Yorkers should boycott Suozzi-Reyna and oil. If I was the governor right now, I'd say, listen, let's padlock the mansion of every single Russian oligarch, seize their yachts until they start telling Putin, bring the Ukrainian people and leave them alone. How is it possible? We have to do everything we can to stay united. Democrats and Republicans. Politics has to stop at the water's edge. We have to stay united with not only the United States of America, but with our allies, to do everything we can to stand up for the Ukrainian people.
Nobody expected us to hold together the way we're holding together. We've got to make sure that that continues. So what is it about? What's it about in Ukraine? It's about freedom and democracy. And what is freedom and democracy but what you're doing right now? Politics is freedom and democracy. Everybody's so sick of politics. I don't want anything to do with politics. I'm sick of everybody fighting. What does it matter? Politics is what they're fighting for. Politics is what freedom and democracy is what we've sent veterans throughout our history on our behalf to go sacrifice their lives for us, for politics. The politics, the power of the people to actually impact change. Because when you don't have people participating in politics, it doesn't work. Politics is supposed to be based upon competition. I've got a better idea than you. I've got better experience than you do. I can do it faster than you. I can do it more efficiently than you. I have better ideas that will make people's lives better. We haven't had that type of competition in New York State. It's all been an insider's game. Left up to the establishment and people who do business with the state. Kathy Hochul has raised $20 million already. Now tell me, is it because people are saying, oh, we've got to follow Kathy Hochul. She's got such great ideas for the future of New York State. I'm so inspired by what she's saying. Or is it people doing business with the state, the same old thing, just paying off money and campaign contributions to try and have their way? That's what's happening in New York State. That's the way it's always been. And that's not a new phenomenon. You can't blame her. It's been going on this way for decades. You know what happens when that happens? When there's no competition, when people aren't battling over ideas as to how to make things better, when people aren't battling over who's the most qualified person to do the job, who's going to be more effective at getting the job done, you know what happens? Crime rates soar like they are in New York City. We have the highest taxes in the United States of America in New York. We have failing schools that are dying all the landscape throughout our state, which are leaving children behind. And when kids don't get ahead in school and they're left behind in school, we all pay the price. They pay the price, the families pay the price, we all pay the price in society because we haven't addressed the very real needs of children in real need. So I'm here tonight to say, you're the people. You've got the power. We can win this race. I need you in this race. Are you with me in this race? I need you. Don't underestimate how powerful each and every one of you can be. Because not enough people participate. And when people really do get psyched up, when people really do participate, when people really believe that they can make a change, you can make a change. So in this race, I'm saying that, I'm a proven executive. Okay? You've heard I'm a lawyer, I'm a CPA, I was the mayor of Glen Cove. I learned how to make government work at a small level for 8 years. I ran one of the largest counties in the United States of America. My budget's larger than 11 states in the United States of America, and I'm a Nassau County executive. My budget in Nassau County was bigger than Bill Clinton's budget when he was governor of Arkansas. I ran the 12th largest police department in the United States of America, bigger than Boston or Detroit, and we had the lowest crime rate in the United States of America for any community over 500,000 people anywhere in the country. So I'm a proven executive. I can do it because I've done it. Second, I'm a common sense Democrat. Now people, the press, a lot of people want to say, he's a moderate, he's running to the right. I'm a lifelong Democrat. You look at any of the ways that they rank candidates as far as, I'm a Democrat. I'll always be a Democrat. But you know what? I'll work with anybody. I'll work with Republicans, I'll work with progressives, I'll work with moderates, I'll work with anybody to get the job done, to try and make people's lives better. That's the only reason to be in politics. It's because we can help the people. And every politician says, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Look at my record. I can do it because I've done it throughout my entire career. So now listen, the big issues, okay? Number one is crime. Okay, it's an emergency right now. People, I'm so happy to see this crowd in this room. You can't tell me I can't tell you how many people told me, I don't know if I want to go into the city. I don't know if I want to take the train to Penn Station. I don't know if I want to take the subways. People, the first job of government is to make people feel safe. And I will support Mayor Adams in his efforts to make this city safe 100%. I've laid out a 15-point crime intervention and crime prevention plan. I won't go through it now. Number two, taxes. We've got the highest taxes in the United States of America. Okay, who thinks we have high taxes here? Tell me if you do So, I'm fighting in Congress to try and get the state local tax deduction back. Okay? I got it passed in the House. Despite tremendous odds, I passed it in the House. Republicans were against me, some progressives were against me. We passed it through the House because I said no salt, no deal. But we couldn't get it done in the Senate. And my concern is we have to address this problem of taxes because we lost 300,000 people from New York State last year, the largest net out-migration of any state in the United States of America. More than New Jersey, more than Massachusetts, Ohio, and Illinois, and a bunch of other states combined. When I was born, there were 45 members of Congress. Today, there's 27 members of Congress. It's going down to 26. We will keep on losing influence from the state of New York unless we address the problems of crime and taxes. I will always fight for the environment. I was the New York State environmentalist for the year. I'm going to fight like hell to make sure we protect the environment. But we've got to be balanced when we do it. We're going to look out for our union members that are in this room. I'm going to look out for our utility payers.
Everything I've done in my career has prepared me for this particular job at this particular time.
Over 25 years ago, Tom Suozzi became one of the first public officials to offer help to undocumented workers.
Men who were looking for work could gather at one location. And if you didn't get paid, someone would advocate for you. And if you didn't get hired, you could stay and learn English or a job skill.
As Nassau County executive, he oversaw the lowest crime rate in the history of Long Island.
We did gun buyback programs to get the guns off the street.
Tom felt that the police should not just patrol the community, but be part of the community.
Now, crime in New York is rising, and Tom will help put more cops on the beat and give judges the power to take violent offenders off the streets. In Congress, Tom led the fight to repeal the cap on state and local tax deductions, devastating New York's middle class.
My family has paid thousands more in federal taxes.
We've seen Tom be out in front of this and not back down.
No matter what the meeting was, I always brought up the issue of salt. Salt.
So if you care about these issues, let me know. You care about crime. Yeah. You care about taxes. Yeah. You care about the environment. Yeah. You care about unions. Yeah. You care about working people. Yeah. And you care about the kids in school that we got. Yeah. So let me just finish up by saying this. I'm so grateful to all of you. I mean, it means so. Everybody in this room has heard this. Oh, Spaz, you know. You got a long shot race. You got a great thing going in Congress. You're a member of Congress. You're on the Ways and Means Committee, and you're going to give it up to run this long shot race. Why don't you just take care of yourself? You're gonna win, baby. That's right, we're gonna win. We're gonna win because of all of you. So when I was growing up, I looked at my parents and my grandparents. My dad was born in Italy. Both of his parents came from Italy. My mom's mother was born in England. Her grandfather was born in Ireland. I mean, you local great, but like that happening But they all lived through depression. Immigration, depression. My dad fought in World War II. My grandparents, my mother, their families were on the home front during World War II. My dad ran for political office. I saw a picture of my dad campaigning with John F. Kennedy my whole life in the 1960s. My mom and dad were involved in the 60s and civil rights and so many other important political movements at the time. As a kid growing up, I used to think to myself, wow, what am I going to do in my life? What's the big challenge I'm going to face? The Depression, immigration, World War II, the 60s. What am I going to do? So my whole life, I've tried to live up to their example. Whether when I was mayor or county executive of Congress, but really right now, right this minute, all of us, every single one of us, have to live up to the people that came before us. Because this is our moment in history. When we are sick and tired of everybody fighting with each other in politics, Democrat and Republicans just always battling with each other, not getting things done. We're sick and tired of seeing the fixes in Albany, where there have been more people indicted and left office in scandal over the past 10 years than have lost their jobs at the polling booth. We're sick and tired of the crime and the high taxes and the kids left behind in school. We're sick and tired of it. Now is the time when we live up to our responsibilities to take back our state, to take back our politics, and be an example for everyone else to follow that the power of the people cannot be stopped. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Vamos a seguir adelante juntos.
What's up, Diane? What's up, Lee? You got it. You got it, Lee. Keep your phone. You got it. My girl. What's up, Coach? What's up, Tom? I love Tom, baby. Big team. Stay there. Remember we had you. Tom, go for it. Did you see that?
really devoted to helping other people, complete strangers even. We'd be driving home from school, and she'd see a woman walking with her grocery bags, and she'd pull over and pick them up, give the woman a lift.
Maybe that's what Tom has been doing the past 30 years. Maybe that's the whole point of public service, lifting up people you don't know.